All right, welcome into another episode of Nightmare Stories of the Other Side. Tonight, I welcome back Gina and Lauren of the Witches Familiar Paranormal team. How are you ladies doing tonight?
Pretty
Good.
good.
How are you all?
Not too bad. Just, as we were talking about before we started, just hanging in there and trying to get through this winter weather.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been a rough couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, it's like, we've had the bitter cold. You
Did you
know,
guys get snow too? We got like 14 inches.
we got 2 inches yesterday.
Oh,
So,
that's not bad.
no. Jada and them, they got what, 7 inches this
Yeah.
last weekend, which is crippling for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my area got 14.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
hey, I guess um, what's his name? That groundhog or whatever it is saw a shadow today. So they say 6 more weeks of winter.
It's always 6 more weeks of winter. I don't know why we
Right.
even
I
trust the
don't
groundhog
know.
anymore.
Yeah, I don't get it, but whatever. So, anyways, um, we never really, I'm just going to kind of start with our investigation back at Waverly last summer because we never really got to talk about that after the fact. There
True.
was a few messages here and there, but I want to kind of, just get your guys' take on that night.
Oh my gosh. Easily one of my favorite places now. Like
Agreed.
top three.
We almost had a chance to go back in December and then things kind of fell through with that building, so we ended up at ISS instead, which also favorite building, so like that was fine, but it was it was crazy. Like not crazy crazy, but crazy enough to be like, yes, I love this building.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
know that
So
night, sorry, go ahead.
you're good.
Yeah, so
I was
that
just gonna
night,
say,
oh,
going into Waverly, we had a lot of people that had told us it's not haunted. We've been there several times. We haven't experienced anything. So, to be honest, we didn't really have high hopes. We just kind of went in with an open mind. And we're like, we'll just see what happens. I mean, if anything, we at least get to go experience this really cool historic building. So,
yeah.
but it ended up being a lot more active than people had said it would be.
Yeah, because I think the only time I
Mhm.
really ran into you guys at night was, I think it was what, the second floor, the third floor with the room with the bed in it. That's the
Hmm.
only time I saw you guys that night. Really.
Yeah, we were kind of running around like crazy trying to hit all the hot spots that we knew of.
And
So,
even
what
then, like
were
the
some of
hot
your
spots.
favorite experiences from that night?
Oh gosh. Well, I know my favorite experience,
Probably
but
right. I would say going from the sorry, going from the morgue and like them basically leading us upstairs and then the Estes from that, which leads into Lauren's favorite spot. I'm
yeah,
being distracted
so
by pets and boyfriend.
the whole night we just kind of kept getting, well, I know as soon as I got there, I was immediately drawn to the third floor. I don't know
Yes.
why, because everybody was like, "Oh, the fourth floor is the most haunted." And so like they had started walking around the second floor and I was like, "I'm just gonna go up to the third floor. I just want to go up there." I don't know why. Well, I ended up walking to about the same spot that later on we had crazy experience. But kind of what Gina was saying, throughout the night we had little things here and there, like the things that happened in I don't remember the name of the room we were in with the bed.
Yeah, I
But
can't remember either.
just the
The fact
fact
that
that
the
all of
equipment
our
wasn't
equipment kept
working.
malfunctioning on the bed, but not anywhere else in the room was just wild.
Crazy. I think my
Um,
favorite now that I can actually think is when we were walking down. I think we had gotten to the second floor, and Lauren and I both heard like a full conversation happening, and no one else was on the floor at the time.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in the message, which that was pretty crazy.
I
Um,
think Lauren might have frozen.
yeah, she did.
Oh no.
That happened to me yesterday, I think. But
Oh,
yeah, it's like
technology.
I know it's like
Like
that
she was,
night at Waverly, I was running around so much. It's like I don't remember half the night and what I was doing and where I was, and
I know everybody kept telling, like she said, was telling us the fourth floor. We didn't really have anything happen on the fourth floor, like maybe some footsteps or some voices here or there. But like what she was starting to say, like with the third floor, because something kept drawing her up to that area. So like later in the night, we were doing
Sorry about
Estes
that.
in
but you're
the
good.
morgue area, and we kept getting three, three. And at first we were thinking like, oh, it's because there's three of us in here. But then when I was under, Lauren and our friend Nathan were like, maybe they're telling us to go up to the third floor. And that's when we went up and I'll let Lauren recontinue her story
Well,
from
while we
there.
were still in the morgue, while you were under, we had put a REM pod inside the body cooler. And as soon as I said, "Are you saying three because you want us to go up to the third floor?" The REM pod went off 3 times inside the body cooler.
I forgot
Nice.
about
So I was
that.
like, okay, I guess. So I pulled her out and we went up to the third floor. And nothing was really happening at first. We just kind of set up again. Gina was under Estes. I was asking some questions, but it was towards the end of the night. I was getting tired, so it was more just kind of sitting there, seeing if anything happened. And up on that third floor balcony area, I just had my back kind of against that railing, just kind of watching in to the interior of the rooms
Yeah.
that were right there. Well, I heard this sound off to my right that kind of sounded almost like shuffling footsteps. And so I just kind of like glanced over there, and so you know how it's set up, so there's like rooms and then there's like this little area that kind of juts out and then there's
Hmm.
more rooms and then there's not. So in that little area that juts out, I look over and in the doorway, I just see this outline of a person standing there. Like I could see shoulders, head, just like looking right at me. And as soon as I made eye contact with it, it turned and walked into the room.
Interesting.
So immediately I run down there, like just leave her under with headphones on, with blindfold on. I'm like, it's fine. She's fine. She's just sitting there.
Nathan was there.
So I
Fine.
run down to this room and look around. There's nobody there. I go into the main hallway. There's no other groups on our floor. So I don't know what somebody was watching us. Somebody wanted us to come up there, but it was just very like I still get goosebumps talking about it because I've never seen like a clear shadow figure apparition until then. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's like I don't know if you guys heard the story, but I think it was on the fourth floor, if I remember right. My daughter and Em and Ken's that were from Pennsylvania, they were up on the fourth floor, and Em kept seeing like a mist going through the rooms like it was a nurse doing her rounds.
Hmm.
And then like at one point, so like my daughter, she has a child spirit Levi attached to her. And I can't remember if it was one of the devices that he was making go off and was like telling them to get out. And then like I can't remember if it was Em or Ken's, but they saw the creeper or the crawler, whatever you call him, like doing a back bend and the red eye is coming at them. And I guess they just ran all the way down to the gear room.
Wow.
It's like, yep,
Damn.
they're like getting the hell out of there.
I think I probably would too.
Right?
But yeah, so like I found them at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, what are you guys like freaking out about? And they told me, and it's just like, I'm like, where am I when all this cool stuff happens? But yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that was just
definitely,
one of those moments where like you always hear about these cool things that happen to other people. And then like
Hmm.
I finally got to witness something for myself. So that was really like I wish Gina had been able to see it too, because it was just
I did
oh,
at
for
least like
sure.
feel it being off, but she pulled me and was like, go walk down there, tell me what you're feeling. Like, didn't tell me what happened at all. Just go walk down there. And then like as soon as I got down there, like I got to that doorway and I just kind of stopped and went, I don't like this. And like got into it and like just again, like you said, talking about it, I am getting the goosebumps. And
Mhm.
it's
Right.
just like, nope, nope, I don't what happened. And then she told me what happened, and I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a great night. Had a, good group of people there. And again, it's like too bad I couldn't like have been with everybody more, but it's just like
Such a big
Christopher, Don,
building.
and Kennedy, I didn't see them at all that night.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Barely saw anybody.
Same with Jesse and Steve. They were like I saw them for maybe like 45 seconds the entire night.
Yeah, I think we ran into a group in the tunnel.
Yeah,
And other than that, I think maybe we passed people on the staircase while we were going to different
right.
places, but we
Right,
didn't
but
really
yeah.
see anybody all night.
And for like having 15 people there, it's like again, like as you said, it's like big location, that many people, you're not going to see them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Which is
like,
perfect.
the
But
same
once you
thing with
even hit
like
that power button,
Penhurst and Tala, such big locations, we're hardly going to see anybody.
Yeah.
that's exciting.
I'm so excited.
Oh, I do have a surprise for the locations, but you'll find out the night of.
Ugh,
It's a good surprise, nothing bad.
gonna keep us guessing until July.
Yep, you're gonna have to guess away. So for after Waverly, what kind of investigations do you guys see yourself getting into?
The end of the year kind of was really slow for us. Like there was just a lot of life things happening.
A
Like
lot
we
of
did
drama.
a lot of unnecessary drama
There's always
that
the
we
drama.
got pulled into against our will without knowing it at first. And then we kind of got thrown headfirst into it. So we kind of laid low, did a few things
Yeah.
here or there with ourselves, did a
Like
trip
we did
with
some
our
local
friends.
places, but
Yeah. We're starting this year fresh, just kind of getting back to our roots.
Yeah,
mhm.
but yeah, whether it's personal or paranormal, there's always gonna unfortunately be drama there, and
Hmm.
Mhm.
it's just it sucks.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
we just got blamed for a lot of things that aren't true, and people made up a bunch of stuff about us, and we were like, where is this even coming from? And turns out that they were just basically trying to say that we were attempting to steal locations and steal events, and I was like, that we're not hosting event. I don't know where any of this is coming
Right.
from. So we were like, we're done. We're gonna walk away from this group. We're gonna start over. It'll be fine. So we're
And
just kind of on our
I
own, doing our own thing now.
ironically, that same thing happened to me over the summer, like in July, where it's just like
That's
you know
when we found out it was happening.
it's like,
Yeah.
where is this coming from? It's like you have all these people turning your backs on you. They
Hmm.
don't come to you, and it just
Hmm.
spirals out of control. And it's like, why? It's like,
Yeah.
if you have a problem with what I'm trying to do, come to me. Don't be
Exactly.
making blasts on Facebook and spiraling out of
Yeah.
control where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna take 3 months off and just step away for a little bit.
Yep. That's
Yep.
basically what we did. We went like September, October, November, we were like, we're not really gonna do anything.
Yep.
Yep, same here. It's just like we had one investigation in July, next one was in October. Didn't do any podcasts in that time, just kind of like, gonna enjoy life.
Hmm.
Yep.
So you had mentioned ISS. You guys went there in December.
Hmm.
Yeah.
More
At
power to
very
you
end of the
guys.
year.
I don't, that is like one location that mainly just because of Natalie and her age is like one spot right now I won't do overnight just because of all the entrances and
Fair.
not
Yeah.
knowing who or what's going to come in.
Yeah. They have cut down a lot on security. Like we had a really good conversation with I can't remember his name now. Basically the property manager, the guy that's always there.
Hmm.
They've added more cameras. They
Okay.
have connections with police. So basically, if anybody trips these cameras, like police show up right away.
Oh,
Hmm.
nice.
So I definitely felt safer being there this time than I did when I went
Well, that's
like
good
a
to
year and a
hear.
Agreed.
half ago.
Agreed.
So, like, how did that investigation go?
It was pretty good.
Really
It was
good.
very special too because we both took our partners with us, and so they're both a little new to like the official investigating, and
Okay.
just seeing both of them get so excited for things was just very fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like the typical things that if Gina and I were investigating, we would be like, "Oh yeah, it was a footstep." Okay.
Right.
They were just like, "Oh, did you hear that? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Did you hear that?" And we were just like, "Yeah, honey, it's a footstep."
Uh-huh.
Okay. But it was nice to be reminded of why we started doing this and that
Right.
excitement that we had when we first started.
Hmm.
Because that place is always active. It doesn't matter where you are, what time of day,
Hmm.
something's going on.
Well, yeah, like I've only been there twice, and both times it was just during the day, and you know, not a lot happened, but just enough stuff to be like, holy crap. Like the
Mhm.
first time we were there, being down the tunnels and hearing furniture getting drug around upstairs
Hmm.
when you
Mhm.
know there was nobody else around.
Yeah, the first time we did an overnight there, the tunnels were too flooded. We couldn't go into them. But this time we were actually able to go into the tunnels, and like there was a few spots where we were like, I don't know about that. And then my boyfriend was just like, I got this, and then like went ahead of all of us to like test the water.
Mhm.
It was pretty fun.
It
But
was
that's
mostly,
like
to
the
make sure that there were no bats waiting down there, but
yeah.
Yeah. And then like in the I can't remember what the building is called, but the 5-story building,
hmm.
like when we were there before we hit
Yeah,
Waverly
we
with
had
you
some
guys,
Oh yeah.
Natalie
crazy
and a
stuff
couple
happen in that building this time
Natalie and a
around.
couple of our old team members were up on the 5th floor, and it was either they had someone or something either growl or hiss at them, and they hightailed it out of there.
We were on the fourth floor, and then we ran into one of the other groups that was there, started talking to them. Me and TJ walked off and went and explored the fifth floor. It was kind of creepy feeling. I was just like, go back down to the fourth floor now. So we went back down to the fourth floor, and like knowing that we had gone up to the fifth, the door was open in this one particular room, completely open when we had left. Well, we heard something. So TJ and another guy from the other group went off to investigate it, and they come running back down and they're like, the door slammed shut. We're like, oh, okay. And then again, we know that it's slammed shut because TJ and I left that room with it open. So we went up there to that room and we just watched that door move like the whole time we were in it. And it wasn't the breeze because it was a heavy door. We tested it and
Okay,
it was just it kept and then it would stop and then we would like stop talking about it and it would start moving again. I was like, okay, do it, slam it. And it never slammed again, but it definitely slammed at least once while we
Yeah.
nice.
weren't there.
But during that same time, we were getting a lot of stuff on Spirit Talker too, and it actually said my boyfriend's name and Gina's name. And then it was like,
Back
Crazy.
to back.
be careful,
We were
basically.
standing in the doorway whenever it said our names and to be careful or to move
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. Jada, are you busy over there taking notes?
I was just kind of writing stuff.
All right. Do you have any questions?
I
All
do, actually.
right. You feel free to
So,
jump in whenever you want.
all right. I'd like to ask, what location or experience in particular do you feel brought you closer as a group?
Oh man.
That's a great
Brought us
question.
closer.
That is a good question. We're a very strange duo in the fact that we got really, really close just even being friends before we even started investigating.
Hmm.
Like worked together, very rarely had like spent our off days together. We kind of got a little too dependent on each other. And then Lauren leaving work to go work somewhere else kind of forced us into that, oh, maybe we don't need to be as dependent on each
Yeah.
other. So
Like
that's
friends
very
don't usually
tough.
see each other every single day.
Right. So as far as investigating, oh man, I don't know.
I don't know. I think that first road trip that you and I
Yeah.
took to Iowa, where we
I
investigated, yeah, Iowa, Villisca, and Malvern, kind
yeah,
of just like
solidified
cemented it
everything.
for us. Because up until that point, we had investigated a couple local places, But this was more just like oh, we're gonna do this for fun and it's not really a big
Yeah.
deal. But
It
then
was that
after,
trip that made us make the Facebook page.
yeah, it was that trip where people actually came up to us during that investigation and started asking us
Asking
questions and asking us
questions.
to explain equipment and
Can we hang out with
having
you
us teach
guys?
them methods and following us around, to the point where some of them even gave us money at the end. And we were
Oh,
like,
geez.
we didn't, okay. They were just like, thank you for taking time. Because, the people that were running the event were nowhere to be found. So all these people that were new to investigating came to us to try to figure out what was going on.
And
But
again, we had just made the Facebook page like 2 days before, so we had to like tell
yeah,
them like you're gonna have to like really search for us. We don't have cards yet. And then,
Oh, that's
going
awesome.
through audio and stuff and getting Lauren's name as an EVP, definitely. Okay, yeah, this is
Yeah.
something.
yeah, we're like,
That's awesome.
we could do
Do
this.
this.
Like we could travel, we could investigate, we could make a YouTube that we ended up never using, but
It's fine.
I mean, we still make videos on TikTok, we still do the Facebook page, and I mean, we've just hit 1,500 followers on Facebook. So
Which
in
is awesome.
3 years, we've gone from, do you want to make a Facebook page? I mean, is this a thing that we're gonna do, to being like, oh crap, people actually care about what we're doing.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like the thing with YouTube is like, you know, that's such a strange entity in itself. It's you
It's
put
just
up
very
the
time consuming.
it's that, but when you put up the videos and like trying to figure out the algorithm of like,
Yeah.
okay, when do I put something out
Hmm.
to get, a decent amount of views, which again, it's like when I put my videos, it's like not all about the views. It's like, yeah, I want them, but if I only get like 15 views, hey, that's 15.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I love editing. Like editing the Iowa video was so much fun. But the fact that it took me a roughly 3 hours per every 3 minutes, so like an hour a minute, it's just it's too time consuming. It's
Well, it's like
rough.
I'm working on a video right now and going back through it's like, okay, wait, I got to go back and re-listen to this like I don't know how
Hmm.
many times because like for instance, I was doing an EVP session and during the actual session, you hear me, no other noises or anything, but then you go back to listen to it in between the questions, all of a sudden it's like, wait, where's the static coming from? And
Mhm.
it's like I go back and listen, I'm like, okay, is it really static or is it something else? But I'm like, well, I didn't hear it before. It's like, where'd it come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And between like, you know, editing videos is a monster in itself, but then
Oh
you
God.
have like the however many
Listening
hours
to
it
all the
takes you
evidence.
to review 4 voice recorders and 2 video cameras and cell phone stuff. And before you know it, it's like a month before you've even made it through the footage. And then it's another month to get the video created. And I'm like, by that point, nobody cares anymore.
Or it's like you run into problems like a friend of mine's team, Grey Duck Paranormal,
Mhm.
they did Waverly and Trans Allegheny back in, was it September of 2024? They're still working on that footage because they
Hmm.
had Waverly basically done and Grady's cat knocked the hard drive over and, lost everything.
Oh
No.
no.
So they're like working on where they're gonna be coming out soon, but it's like, stuff like that happens that you can't account for.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, also, how did you guys end up meeting, sorry.
So Lauren actually hired me. She was my boss. And we very quickly started learning that we were very similar. And so it just so happened that another coworker ended up leaving, so I took her schedule, which was the same as Lauren's schedule. So we just were always together. And then we kind of solidified being friends. And then after a few months, it was like, think she did a Color Street Facebook party. So that got us adding each other on Facebook. And then it just kind of skyrocketed from there. And then her and her mom did an investigation, and she came to work and going, "You got to come do this with me." And then 2 months later, I
Mm,
went, and then the rest is history as far as the paranormal stuff goes. But yeah, we were coworkers.
that's awesome.
Like my interview with her consisted of Disney, D&D, hedgehogs, and How to Train Your Dragon after the like actual interview questions.
And then
Oh,
she
Oh no, we
you
disappears
just
lost her
again.
checked
again.
all of
Yep.
my boxes, so.
Right. Like one of my old coworkers was working there at the time, and she was like, "Yeah, I went out and I told her, yep, she's good."
Oh,
That's awesome.
that's awesome.
Sorry, y'all. I
Um,
don't know what is going on with my computer tonight.
I don't know if you guys notice, but you'll see like my screen, it'll like glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Well,
So
it's not like my Wi-Fi is saying I have full signal, but it's like Zoom keeps force closing.
that's weird.
Like
Weird.
it'll freeze and then the program will force close and then reopen itself. So I don't know what it's doing.
But mine will glitch all the time. I have no idea why, but I'm like, I chalk it up to the spirits. It is what it is.
It's probably
Penelope.
Penelope.
Well, we got two haunted dolls right behind
Yeah,
us
look
over
at that
by the lava
K2.
lamp. So,
Yep. She's having fun.
Yeah,
it's fine. Um,
she's ornery.
so Sleeper Mortuary. How did that investigation go?
It was a lot of fun. It wasn't super, super active. We did get stuff. Um, oh, excuse me. I think probably the most fun we had was in that like, what room were we in? The flower room is up the stairs, and then we were like in the bottom of it.
Oh, the
And
display
we were
room?
doing the display room. Thank you. We were doing Dual Estes. So I don't exactly know how that went, but Lauren and Jules were like, "That was interesting." So apparently, me and our friend Zach kept like we're having conversations with each other while we were
Yeah.
under. So I
I
still
still
need to
need to
go back
go.
and listen to that
I
audio.
haven't gone through audio from that trip yet because it was just like 2 weeks ago, but
Mhm.
oh,
But the
it's a
building's
neat
really
place.
cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back.
Yeah,
Same.
it's on my list to go there of someday.
It's definitely neat.
Yeah. And Tori is wonderful, so anything
Yep.
we can do to support her.
That's what I hear.
But yeah, I mean we had a couple things, like we had a really loud random bang out in the hallway
Mhm.
while we were in the chapel. We had the dual Estes.
Heard some like whisperings. Nothing
Yeah.
like super, super audible. It was just like, "What? Did you hear that?"
Yeah.
It
But
was,
again,
it
we still
was,
need to review our audio, so
yes,
I don't
because
know if we caught
that
anything
building gets a
on
lot of
recorders.
EVPs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more of a quiet night for us, but that building in general, the videos and stuff that she posts from people staying is just insane.
But yeah,
But
like,
what's also really nice about Sleeper is that it had the whole upstairs is finished. So you don't have to get an Airbnb or a
nice.
hotel. You
Yep.
can sleep there and it's nice and
And
there's bathrooms and it's carpeted and heated.
and the rooms are huge. We had my queen mattress, her full mattress, and still could have fit two more queen mattresses in the room we were staying in.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
It
I was
was
talking on one of my podcasts yesterday, everybody thinks like when you go into an investigation, if they're not in the paranormal, it's like you're gonna get activity every night. I'm like, it's not like that.
Mhm. Nope.
There's some
I was
nights
like,
where
I
it's like
went,
you could go in and you're gonna get nothing.
yep. I went eagle watching today, and like the river's frozen over, so there wasn't a ton. And at one point, my coworker's sister that we were with, she was like, "I'm so sorry that there's like not a ton of eagles, and you just kind of sitting here in the car looking." And I went, "Oh, girl, I'm a paranormal investigator. Like I'm used to sitting in a place waiting for something to happen."
Yeah.
And she was just like, "It's fair."
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, listen, if you're going to become a paranormal investigator, be prepared to spend a lot of money to experience nothing.
Nothing.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because spirits aren't on our schedule.
Right.
So,
Yep. But again, it's about the experience.
yes. And supporting these amazing locations, because a lot of times these locations, the only way they make money is from people coming in, and that's how they
Yep.
keep up the building. So, even if we don't experience anything, we're happy to support the upkeep of these historic places.
Yes, for sure. All right, Jada, more questions.
More
Spit them
questions.
out.
Um, all right. So, what's your opinions on like horror media or like the, I guess, Hollywood or Californication of paranormal investigating?
I actually just had a really long conversation about some of this with people. Um, Specifically, the Ouija board has a really,
Mm-hmm.
really bad reputation because of horror films and media and all these movies that
Mhm.
say, using a Ouija board is going to summon a demon. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you know how to use a Ouija board, just like you would know how to use any other piece of equipment that we would use a spirit box or a phasma box or a spirit talker or an ovulus, it's the same concept. It's still a tool or a method of communication.
Mm-hmm.
It's just spirit boxes and phasma boxes don't have the reputation that a Ouija board does. So,
Right.
but a lot of these places will be like, no Ouija boards, we don't allow that, which, we totally understand and respect. Some people have certain feelings about things.
Mhm.
But again, it's just a tool.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then
Like
the fact that every time I say I'm a paranormal investigator, people go, "Oh, like Ghost Adventures?" And I just want to be
exactly.
like,
Yep.
"No."
No.
Like growing up.
Not everything is demonic.
Exactly. Growing up now, I'm 15 now, but in middle school it was really rough because anytime I'd bring it up, they would just start singing the Ghostbusters theme song,
Yep.
Hmm.
and I was like, it's not the same. And like
Yep.
my favorite teacher, well, don't tell anyone she's my favorite, but we always talk about horror movies whenever like I'm in her class during or like I sit in her classroom during lunch. And I think that in media now, I think that cryptids are very misinterpreted in a
Hmm.
sense. That they are very glorified in a way that is untrue to their upbringing. Like Wendigos, especially, are very mm, underrepresented. And I'd
Hmm.
like to see more positive but more accurate representations of cryptids and creatures from folklore.
Which we're probably
Yeah.
never going to get. They just want to
No,
villainize
no, we
No.
everything. It's
won't.
like,
I mean,
oh, this
it's
is something we don't understand. Let's make it a villain.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, the film I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but La Llorona.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
yes.
Again, they've taken something that's just, a local legend or that kind of stuff and completely turned it into this horror fest. I'm like,
Mhm.
these are not what this is supposed to be. Or even things like The Conjuring, which is my favorite scary movie.
Mhm.
As far as like stuff being accurately depicted, I have a big
Yeah.
Yeah.
problem with.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
not, I'm surprisingly not a huge like horror movie person. I like a couple of them.
yeah.
Like the Conjuring series, love those movies.
Or like, you can go into like the other movies like Paranormal Activity. It's like
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, they kind of
I
exaggerated
was
it a lot.
okay with it until it got ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the first half of the first movie is fine, and then it gets too ridiculous. I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Well, Lauren already kind of answered my next question, but what's your favorite horror movies?
Mine is probably the Saw franchise. I was very
That's a
much
good, that's
into
a
the
good
lore
answer.
of it. I was everybody was like the doctor. Spoilers for the Saw franchise. Everyone's like the doctor's dead. We never saw a body. We saw the other dude's body. We never saw his body. And then in seven, when he's freaking alive, I gloated so much. I'm still gloating. It's been years, but yeah, I know it gets very, very torture porny in the end movies, but the plot and the questions in the story are still there. They
Hmm.
won't
Yeah.
die on this hill.
Yes.
Yeah, because she knows that I don't like the Saw movies. No, I will admit I do like
Which
the
is
first one.
valid.
I liked the first one, but the first one was more of a psychological thriller
Yeah.
Yes.
than a
Love
body
Psycho.
horror movie. I like psychological thrillers. I like the movies that mess with your head. I don't
Mhm.
go see horror movies to have to sit there and be like, "Oh my God, like why are they doing that?" Like I don't want to be grossed out while I'm watching a movie. It's
Yeah.
just she made me
Valid.
go see what Saw 10 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then like half the movie, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, just let me know when they're done,
And I'm
sawing the
just like,
leg
it
off for
feels
no
more like the
reason.
original.
Well, one of
But
my
I'm
new favorites I just discovered, I think it was back in, I think it was December, Black Phone.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's
I
good.
really
The
liked
first one or
the
the new
first
one?
one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet, but it was like, it
The
was
second one's
good.
okay.
Yeah, the
I'm
first one's better.
I'm more okay with the second one knowing that it was Joe Hill's idea and not the director's. Like he had to talk the director into doing it. Because he was like, I have this idea for the second one. This is how we can expand on it. And I don't think it was needed. But the first one, phenomenal.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, very much.
I like The Conjuring. I like things that have to do with ghosts. I also really like, um, I know it's old and cheesy, but 13 Ghosts
Oh,
is
that
Oh,
like
was
one of my
so
yes.
classic
good.
favorites.
That was awesome.
Ghost Ship.
Great
Ghost Ship
film.
was
Yeah.
a
Some of
good
those kind of
one.
old school ones. Like I like
Yeah.
those.
So, what do you two, or I should, I'll ask this for all three of you, the TV show Supernatural.
I
Mm,
am on season 8.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you need
I've
to watch
never
it.
finished it.
We've
My
been talking
cousins are
about doing a
crazy into it.
rewatch. Yeah, it's one of TJ's absolute favorite shows, so he's been wanting to do a full rewatch. So we're gonna Supernatural. So we're gonna start it over, especially since it's off Netflix. I don't know what episode I was on anymore because Netflix told me what episode I was on. I just know I was in season 8.
I know. I was
Mm.
like
I think I only
mad that
made
it
it to
was
season 3.
pulled off
It gets
Netflix,
really good after season 3.
but then it's on Peacock. So,
Yep.
Mm.
It's gonna be one of our shows we just kind of put on in the background one of these days.
yeah,
And then once we get to stuff I haven't seen, I'll start like super paying attention again.
Yeah.
they need to bring it
I
back.
enjoyed it.
Another season. I need more. Okay, so kind of along the lines of Supernatural. So I was kind of going through you guys' Facebook page, getting caught up on things. For some local haunts near you, um, I think it's by you, the Bellefontaine Cemetery.
hmm
Mhm.
I'll talk about that a little bit. I'm like, cemeteries just intrigue me.
It is a very pretty cemetery.
Yeah, and it's so St. Louis was founded by the French, but now in St. Louis we can't pronounce any of the
Anything.
French names actually with the French pronunciation like we're supposed to. So even though it's supposed to be Bellefontaine, everybody calls it Bellefountain.
Okay,
So it's Bellefountain Cemetery. Those of us that actually know the pronunciation call it Bellefontaine, but then everybody's like, where?
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't do the research for that article Mick did, but I have been there many, many times and it is absolutely beautiful.
Hmm.
It's not just a cemetery, it's also an arboretum. So
okay.
they have trees from like all over the world that you wouldn't usually see growing in St. Louis. Unfortunately, they lost a lot of those trees. We had a tornado come through about 2 years ago that I think wiped out about half the trees that were growing there. But still very pretty, very beautiful, very peaceful. I like to go there and just like walk because there's literally miles of roads to walk through. But there's a couple famous people are buried there. The Bush family from like Anheuser-Busch, the
Okay.
brewery. Um, Clark from Lewis and Clark is buried there.
Interesting.
Really?
Um, yeah, he has this huge monument
That was
built
like one of
like
my hyper fixations as a kid.
I
Mm.
love it.
yeah. So he's buried there. And I know the Lemps are buried there somewhere from like
Yeah.
uh Lemp Mansion. I
Okay.
haven't been able to find them, but one of these days I'll make it back out there.
Nice.
Um,
When it's not 2 degrees and covered in snow.
yeah,
Yeah.
when it's not covered in snow. But it's really neat. Some of the little like more mausoleum type buildings that they have, you can actually walk up to the glass and like see inside the mausoleums to see like the coffins and then
Hmm.
urns and stuff, which I mean, I think morbid stuff is cool, so that's
Oh,
cool to
for
me,
sure.
but
So this is another supernatural type thing. They should definitely make an episode out of this, The Seven Gates of Hell.
Yeah,
I saw
that's pretty
that,
cool.
I'm like, I need to go there.
It's just a bunch of like old train bridges that each one has its own lore and its own story. It was really, really popular. Like when I was in high school, everybody talked about like, oh, we're gonna go do the Seven Gates of Hell. We're gonna go do the Seven Gates of Hell. I didn't get around to going and visiting any of them until I was in college. And even then we went during the day and we found three of the seven. But that was also like back before we had GPSs on our phones. So we were literally like mapped it out and printed out a map to try to find these, seven gates.
Yeah.
And they're just really cool old train bridges. Oh my God, I did not realize he was on my chair. Hi, bud.
He's
He
just
yeah.
started
hanging out.
stretching.
I think once the weather gets nicer, we're gonna take a team trip out there because our third member, he's here, but he has children and that kind of stuff, so his schedule tends to be a little bit more chaotic than ours.
He
He kind
mapped
of
it out
mapped it
for
out
us, though.
as like a whole trail of how we would actually do it and what times we would need to go to be there. And so I think
Nice.
we're gonna try to
Because
do a team trip and then document it sometime in the spring.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
there's definitely like a specific way you have to do them. Like you have to
Hmm.
like go back through one of them to get to some of the others to do it in the
Yeah.
correct order. It's very intricate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that would definitely take some planning to do that for sure.
Yeah, those roads are like a maze.
Right? We're gonna make him drive.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, before I get into the next topic, I'll see if Jada has any more questions.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. So now let's talk about your top 10 lists that you guys made. So
See, it was so hard to
should we
make
start
that
with
list.
number
Right?
one or should we start with number 10?
10.
Okay.
Number 10.
So the Monroe House, a location I have never been to yet.
The Monroe House we chose because it's Mick's favorite location. We've been one time.
He's
Um,
been multiple.
yeah. We just got really weird vibes while we were there and kind of got to the point where we were like, I don't think I'm gonna be comfortable sleeping here. So we ended up sleeping at the jail across the street.
Yep.
Because that what's more comfortable than sleeping in a haunted house? Obviously, a jail.
Yeah.
Jail. The one like
Um,
main thing that happened there that was really cool though was we were all getting ready, like we were packing up, getting ready to go down to the jail, and the three girls all heard come from upstairs. And so the boys went upstairs, found the toy piano, and had to slam on that button to get it to ding for us to
Hmm.
hear it downstairs. So that was really cool. And of course, we had already moved all of the recorders and everything because we were
yeah.
getting
Of
ready to
course.
go to the jail.
That's
We
how
did
it
do an
always is.
Estes. Mick and I went to the basement and did an Estes down there that got really intense. It was basically like a residual. I don't really want to get into it because it was a male and a female, and she was basically kind of talking about how this guy SA'd her, and yeah, it got to I had to pull myself out because I was like, I can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but then we left there and went to the jail. So we didn't get a ton of time there, but it's like I said, it's one of Mick's favorite places and he's had a lot of experiences there.
Okay.
So we just put it on the list more for him.
All right. And number 9, the Cheney, is that how you pronounce it? Mansion?
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
location I've never heard of before.
Yeah, so Cheney Mansion is actually local to us. It's about 45 minutes north of St. Louis over in Jerseyville, Illinois. So we've probably been, what, about a dozen times?
About, and we already have three. We're going at least three times this year already.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's more on the cheap side. It's very, temperature controlled. They have a little cemetery as well, a couple of buildings you can go into, and the stuff we've gotten there has been insane.
That's
It's
one of
where
the
I got
places.
touched for the first time. It's like something happens almost every time we go. Something different happens every time we go, and it's just been it's
Yeah.
we love it.
It's one of those places where every time you go, something will happen. You just don't
Nice.
know what or
Yeah.
from who or where. But we've had a lot of really intense experiences, especially one of the last times we went last year.
Hmm.
Um, I was actually able to channel for one of the first times, which is absolutely exhausting, by the way. I was completely drained, but actually helped one of our friends be able to talk to one of his ancestors through the energy that was
That's
at that
awesome.
place. So, and plus it
And
just
like
has a really neat history. Like it was one of the first buildings built in Jerseyville, and it's been a doctor's office and a train station and a bunch of other different random things. So,
if you ever
Awesome.
get the chance to come out and check it out, definitely recommend it.
All right.
yes.
Going down to number eight. I don't know if I'm going to get this one right. Is it Emmaus Asylum? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's Emmaus.
Emmaus. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't actually been yet, but I
I'm
want
the
to,
only one that's
especially
been.
yeah,
Okay.
especially after her experience and our friends from Ope, their experience. It just the night they went was a night that I had to work late and then I had to work early the next morning and it's an hour away and it just unfortunately didn't happen. So I would love to go.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was Emmaus Village. Now they call it Emmaus Asylum after they've found some other documents that I guess called it by that name. But yeah, I don't remember that I did a lot of search for the history and now I don't remember any of it because that was back in October and I didn't need it in my brain, so it's gone now.
Well, that happens.
But my favorite experience there was there's this room that's directly off of, so there's like a medical building, and so there's a area where they would perform surgeries, and then there was a viewing room off to the side. So as we were walking into that viewing room, it felt like somebody came up and just like tapped me right on the top of my head. And I was like, okay, apparently we need to be in here for something. So we set up Estes, and then I was with our friends from the Opa Ghost podcast, and Heaven went under, and we had one of the most intelligent Estes sessions that I have ever witnessed in my life, up to the point where our other friend Katie went to go turn off one of our recorders or restart it, and Heaven immediately said, "Don't touch that," like as she
Oh,
was walking
interesting.
towards the recorder. So I'm like, there's something incredibly intelligent in that area, and I can't wait to go back and talk to it more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't go, but listening to some of the recordings that they had, my favorite was when Katie was under and Jonathan walks into the room and she goes, "That's a big old boy."
Nice.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, we called Jonathan Big Ol' Boy for like 3 months after that.
Yep.
Awesome.
We need to bring that back. Let me change his name in the group.
All right. Moving on to number seven, Randolph Infirmary.
Yes. I did a full overnight
I've
at
only been
Randolph.
during the day.
Gina came and Gina and Mick came with during our Indiana road trip last year. So we did like the mini 2 hour investigation that you can do during the day there, but I've done a full overnight. And the disembodied sounds that you experience in that building are insane. Not only did I have something mimicking my voice in recordings all night that night, but at one point we were in a room and I actually heard somebody walk by the room, open the door at the end of the hallway and slam it shut. And then I walked out there, and of course there was nobody out there. I have a recording of an Estes session in the attic where I was under and one of my friends was asking questions. And as soon as I take the headphones off, he was like, I could hear singing in the back corner. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then as soon as he said that, we hear this la 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 from the back room. And I actually picked it up on my recorder. So it's on my TikTok page if anybody wants to hear it.
All right.
But yeah, that's another place where it doesn't matter what time of day you go or where you
Mhm.
are in that building, something's gonna happen.
while we were there during the day on our trip, we were the three of us and Mick were in the basement. And so one of my favorite pastimes is to annoy the crap out of heaven. So when we were at a gas station before we got there, they had this little toy, and I thought it was on the table next to me. It's probably buried under my junk. It was just one of those like grown tube toys. It has a little octopus on it, and you shake it, and it goes wah, 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 wah.
Oh, geez.
So just to annoy heaven, pretty much, which it did. And so we brought it into the building with us. And so it's like, because there's children spirits there. And so it's like, do you want to play with this toy? And I shook it. And then through the Phasmo box, we hear wah, 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 wah. It was like, okay,
Like it
that
was
was
making the
fun.
Awesome.
sound back
It
at
was
her.
making the same sound. It was cool. And it's not something we've ever heard come from Phasmo box.
Well, that
Yeah.
kind of happened to me at Edinburgh last June. Like I had the music box on a table in the kids' room, and the music box wasn't going off, but we heard it through um the Phasm box. It's like, what
Mhm.
is going on here? It's like we're hearing it but not hearing it.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right, number 6, a place I want to go to, but I gotta wait till Natalie's of age, Missouri Penitentiary.
I love it. Oh, we can't wait
We
to go
love
back.
MSP. Yeah,
We didn't there. It was the experience we had there was a little bit taxing, just because we went to a public event. They did rotations, which is great for people that need them. However, the rotations went so long, we ended up only getting like 3 hours of
5 hours
alone
of
time.
rotation,
Yeah, 5 hours of rotations,
which
two
was
too
more than
much
half of the
rotations.
time that we had at the location.
And some of the buildings were closed, and so it ended up being too many people in not enough spaces, but we still got some of the best stuff we've ever got there. Our friend Nathan caught a picture in the gas chamber, which we didn't get hardly in no time by ourselves, except taking that picture of a shadow inside of like the viewing area. He was the only one in the building at the time. Like
Okay.
we've even shown that picture to Jenny, the woman that like runs the events and stuff, and she was like, "You're texting that to me now." I was like, "Okay, I can do that." So we sent her that. And then my favorite Estes moment ever happened at MSP. We were in the like solitary and like the basement, no lights, nothing, solitary cells. Lauren was under for Estes. It was me, our friend Nathan, and Lauren's mom. So we're sitting there asking our questions, like normal. And Lauren goes, Michelle. And I go, Michelle. My friend Nathan goes, Oh, I thought she said the show. So I go, Are you talking about a show or did you say Michelle? And Lauren just goes, Did you just ask it to repeat itself? And I went, Yes. And she goes, Okay, because I said Michelle. And then it went, Oh, I said Michelle. Favorite Estes moment.
That's
Like
awesome.
it got so annoyed that I asked it to repeat itself.
All right, number 5, McIntyre Villa.
We love mac and
We love
tier.
that. It's another place we've only been once, and it was on a whim. Like it wasn't even scheduled, and it's just we can't wait to go back. And Stephanie, the owner, is one of the most genuine, hilarious, and down to earth, kind human beings you could ever meet.
Yeah.
It's such a good building.
We
And it's
hit
another
mac and
one that's
tier.
temperature controlled, and you can sleep there. And
Yeah, it was the very end. We had taken a trip up to like Kansas City, St. Joseph, to meet up with some people. And we had done an overnight at Glore Psychiatric Museum and then an overnight at Beatty Mansion. And so on our way out of town, we were like, well, we're gonna stop at the Sally House and on my shirt
Saw
and
that.
McIntyre Villa just to do like because you can do the hour-long daytime tours at Sally House. And I had contacted Stephanie because I just wanted to see McIntyre. So I was like, can we come just get a tour? And she was like, absolutely, yeah. So we get there and we're doing the tour and we were like, okay, well, if you have some time, do you mind if we do a photo shoot before we leave? And she was like, the place isn't booked tonight. Do you guys just want to stay? And we were like,
Nice.
yeah.
yeah,
So we ended up saying that was our third overnight in a row, which
Hmm.
is never a good idea because we were so sleep deprived by that
Yeah,
point
I've been there,
that
done
I was
that.
like, I'm gonna have to get a couple hours of sleep sometime, somewhere, or I'm
So we
not gonna make it
slept
through the night for this
and
date.
set an alarm for like 1, 2 a.m. so that way we could hit witching hour. And those spirits had us walking all over. They're
Hmm.
like, go here, go here, go here. And so we're pretty sure it was like whatever female spirits are there kept getting us away from whatever male spirits were there. Cause like it
Yeah.
would be fine. And then he would kind of come in and then we would go. And like it
It
was
was
one
this
of our most
pattern.
popular lives too. Like we were live for like 3 hours,
Oh,
had so many
nice.
people in the live, even though it was like
Yeah, we had
3,
like
4 a.m.
1,500 viewers on that live.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
And
insane.
it was awesome.
But yeah, it was like following this patterns. We would get to a room, we would set up, we would have this woman coming through the Phasma box, and then we had this other device with us. It was kind of like an Ovilus, but it was not Ovilus brand. It was something else. And we kept getting this like repeating pattern of these three phrases of like, he's coming, move down or move up or something like that. And so she would have us go to different rooms around the house so that she could talk to us. And then as soon as that male entity would get close, she would be like, he's coming. And we would have to go somewhere else. It was crazy.
No, definitely sounds like it.
Yeah.
All right, we already talked about number four, which is Waverly Hills a little bit. So we'll just
Hmm.
we'll kind of go on. Number three, Haunted Hill House.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
And so your guys' list, besides Waverly, so and like ISS, those are the only two I've been to.
oh, you've
Hill
got some
House.
traveling to do.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Haunted Hill House is one of those locations that our friends in Texas, it's like their local location. So they had come up to visit our local location, Mineral Springs, and they were like, we're gonna set up if you guys can get down here, we're gonna do this whole trip, take you to Haunted Hill House. And it was some of the most intense experiences we have ever had. Like it got weirdly personal. It 3, 4 people cried on the porch throughout the night for various different reasons. We played poker with a spirit. He got mad that I looked at his hand and made me draw like 25 cards after that. I got called a dumbass. It was, oh my God, that's something was happening in every corner.
Yeah. I've never been as emotionally drained after an Estes session as I was there, to the point where I had to step outside and just like
Let
gather
it out.
myself and let
Yeah,
some of those
recoup.
emotions out. And the other weird thing about that location is every single female that laid in a certain bed left with bruises on their legs,
Hmm.
Huh.
like something had grabbed their legs while they were laying there. So me, Gina, and our other friend Renee all checked the next morning because we noticed Renee started getting a bunch of bruises on her legs.
He
And so it
got them
looked
on
like
both.
fingerprints. And so we were like, and then I noticed I had a giant like gash scratch across the front of my
Hmm.
shin that scarred and bruised for like months after I was there. And then Gina ended up with a bruise too, right?
Yeah, I had like 4 tiny, but also kind of looked like fingerprints.
Yeah.
Renee's were dark though. Like
Yeah.
she got grabbed.
Yeah.
Well,
That place is intense.
it's kind of like back when I was last at Edinburgh in June. I didn't realize that I did a 2 night there, but I didn't realize until I got back like a day or two later, I had like these weird scratches and marks on my leg. I'm like, where did the heck did those come from? So it had to be from there because it's just like in a spot where it's like you wouldn't have any.
Yeah. Yeah. Haunted Hill Houses, if you are a beginner investigator or it's not for the faint-hearted. And like I know it kind
Right.
of gets this reputation of like people staged things or stuff like that. And I can tell you honestly, after being there, that there's no sound system in the
There's
walls.
right.
There's no like nothing fishy is going on in this place. Like everything that happened to us was 100% legitimate.
The
Like
only
we used
sound
all
they
of
had going,
our equipment that couldn't
right.
have been tampered with. to
Like
experience all these things.
the only sound they had going was they had a spirit box set up upstairs, and they were like, once you guys get set up and get going, feel free to turn that off. Like they just had it going to have it going.
Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, we saw, I mean, shadow figures peeking their head up over the top of the stairs. We
Mhm.
had that freaking creepy doll that sings on the rocking horse go off in
It was
Toby's room.
so creepy.
Yeah. I definitely want to go back though,
Yeah.
which kind of makes me sound crazy, but
It sounds like a great location.
the more stuff you experience at a place, the more
Yeah.
you want to go back and experience it again.
Mm.
Hmm.
And your number two location, we already kind of touched on that, which was Indiana State. So
Hmm.
we'll move on. So your number one location, what makes Malvern Manor your number one?
So much. Like, I know I've been saying this about like every location, but kind of like Lauren mentioned, so that trip to Iowa, Malvern was that location. Um, it's the location where we were seen as professionals for the first time. It's the location where we got her name as an EVP for the first time, which I think that's really kind of solidified it. Teaching people how to do Estes. And then we've been back one time since, and we want to go back again, just us. The second time we went back to help with an event, which was really fun getting to run Estes in the Shadow Man hallway all night. But
But
we
when
also
you're in the Shadow
just,
Man hallway for like 3 hours straight,
it
it's
drains
exhausting.
you. And it's just, it's one of those locations where, like, I wouldn't say we've ever experienced anything demonic, but it is definitely a location where it is heavy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um, it affected us both tremendously. Like Lauren got sick the first time. The second time she couldn't sleep. I was sleeping so heavy, which I'm not a heavy sleeper. She could not wake me up. Like it took her a good, what, 10 minutes to get me up. I didn't think I was sleeping. Like to my brain, I was having trouble falling asleep and I thought that I wouldn't sleep at all. But it took her a good 10 minutes to wake me up.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
it's an intense place.
Yeah, and say, I've heard, from different teams like mixed reviews on where it's like, it's a great location, super active, or it's a boring location. I would never go back. It's just like overhyped.
Well, it's kind of like us with Sally House. We've now been there for one full overnight and like 2 or 3 day tours, and I've never really experienced much. Like we've experienced some stuff, and yet almost everyone you talk to is like, Sally House is so intense and crazy, and oh my God, for us it hasn't been.
Yeah.
Um, so it just kind of depends
It
on the
kind of goes
person and the
back to that,
location.
like, how we mentioned when we went into Waverly, we didn't have high expectations because of what other people had told us.
Right,
And I think
Yep.
sometimes going into a location with certain expectations, kind of desensitizes you in a way.
Mhm.
Um, because if you go in with this mindset of, well, everybody else that's coming here says nothing's going to happen, then nothing's going to happen because that's what's in your brain. Whereas if you go in and you're like open-minded and know some of the stories that other people have said, it makes you a little bit more open to the possibility that something might happen.
right. But yeah, it's like so yesterday afternoon I had Josh from Melbourne on the podcast. And like I was telling him, it's like every
We
location
love
I go
Josh.
into, it's like I don't expect anything. I just go in there and it's like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Hmm.
It's like I want to experience it, but it's like I'm gonna let the spirits come to me and show themselves what they want.
That's
Yeah,
kind of our like again, we're kind of going back to our roots, and that's kind of our vibe for the years. Like we're just going with the vibes.
yeah. But Malvern is one of those places where you know how a lot of investigators will say, like, I walked into this place and it felt like I was going home.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Like, that's Malvern for me. Like, from the moment I walked in that front door, I was like, this feels like coming home to me for some
Yep.
reason. Like, I have no connections to Iowa or to Malvern Manor or anything, but I don't know. Just walking in there, I was like, something in here, it feels like I'm supposed to be here. And then
Hmm.
I don't know. I think the Shadow Man and I have some beef that we need to figure out, and we need to hash out one of these times that we're there alone. But other than that, like all of the other spirits that are there were super
Right.
engaging and welcoming and interactive with us. And I think we experienced something in almost every room we went into, from, Hank getting mad
I think
about his pants.
Penelope wants to go back. She's going crazy.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I
Even
love
in
Hank.
the little girl, I forget the little girl's name. What is it?
I don't know. I'm so bad
I
with
forgot.
names.
Yeah, it's been a long week. Um, but we got a cat ball thrown at us in that room, and I
Yep.
don't think it was in like a menacing way. I think she was trying to play with us.
It's just
But
playing. Yeah.
yeah,
It was like
to
funny, like,
Inez's room, we had stuff happen, so it's just like all over that building.
but like it
They
was
just
funny.
want to
Like I was
engage.
telling Josh yesterday, I've never been to Malvern. I've only seen it like in other videos or pictures. But in October 2024, I was out in Colorado for a week helping on a retreat, and out in the Granby, Colorado area, they have a YMCA of the Rockies, and the building we were staying in, it gave me Malvern vibes. It's just like the hallways and the rooms. I'm like, I felt like I was at Malvern. I'm like, it was just so
Hmm.
cool.
Love that.
But I will get to
Mhm.
experience it this year. We are going in October for my birthday investigation.
Nice.
Good.
Yep.
I
So
can't wait to hear what you experience.
that'll be
Yep.
our probably last investigation of the year. So should be a good one.
Well, tell Shadow Man I said hi.
I will.
Yeah.
All right, Jada, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Do you have anything else?
I have one more thing. Um, Something that I want to know from you guys, from both of you, is what was your opinions and thoughts on the paranormal growing up, like as kids?
So I
I'll
was
let Gina go
never,
first.
yeah, mine's a little more tame. I had experiences. I was never really into the shows. Because I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming my first experience with the shows was probably Ghost Adventures, and I saw how kooky it was and how and I just was like, I don't believe in the shows. So I never really watched the shows until Lauren was like, no, these are the ones you need to watch. Trust me. And I did. And so like I watched some of them now, some of the more better ones, but I had experiences growing up. Pretty sure our house is haunted in some ways. Like we have this attic room, which used to be where the computer was, and there was a telephone up there. And at one point, the speaker on the phone just started going. Like I heard it and was like, what is happening? You have to push a button to get that speaker on. And like didn't have a cat at the time. So like it couldn't be the cat jumping up on it. Just weird things, lights flicking on and off. And my grandma, actually both grandparents on my mom's side died when I was kind of young. And so, family would be like, oh, well, that's just grandma saying hi, that
Mhm.
sort of thing. So like family kind of always believed in it. And I'm pretty sure there were like footsteps and stuff happening at a lock-in that I was at for school. So like little things. And I was a theater kid.
Mhm.
Theaters are
Too.
definitely haunted. So
Hmm.
little experiences here and there. So it's not like I was, oh no, nothing. I just didn't watch the shows. And
Yeah.
so like always kind of been interested into it, always kind of wanted to go on like the ghost tours. They just never happened just because either friends fell through with the plans or I wanted to do the super popular ones that sold out super quickly. And I never really
Mhm.
realized or knew that, oh, I could go on my own investigations until Lauren.
Yeah, so me growing up was a little bit different. I'm an empath, and so I had stuff start happening to me at a very, very early age to the point where I didn't realize what was happening. But one of my favorite stories is when I was little, I had an imaginary friend. A lot of kids have imaginary friends, but usually it's like, this is my imaginary friend Bubbles, who's this pink furry cat, or
Mhm.
like, something that a 3 or 4 year old would make up as an
Yeah.
imaginary friend.
Yeah.
My imaginary friend was a middle-aged man named Charles who was in 1800s period clothing. So what 3-year-old would come up with that kind of story as an imaginary friend? So I'm pretty sure we had a ghost in our house when I was little that was named Charles. Um, have not been able to access public records to find out if anybody named Charles ever lived on that property, but pretty sure that's how it started. And then growing up, actually in the house that I'm in now, had weird things happen from time to time, like lights flickering. But in the basement of this house, I actually witnessed, I guess, my first apparition, which was a cat, which,
Oh,
not a lot of people talk about ghost cats, but they're a thing.
Oh yeah, we have
Um,
one in our house.
yeah, we have a ghost cat in our house, and I actually saw it once in our basement when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. And I ran upstairs and I was like, Mom, there's a cat in the basement. And she was like, There is not a cat in the basement. What are you talking about? You would be dying if there was a cat in the basement because I am highly allergic to cats. So if there was any kind of cat in my house, I would have been having an allergy attack and sneezing and coughing and all that stuff. So it's definitely a ghost cat. At one point, I don't know if you remember those really old play school uh, tape players that
Oh
were like in
yeah,
the 90s that were like
yeah.
white and then they had the different colored buttons on the top.
yeah.
I had
Oh,
one in my room and it was playing through one of my cassette tapes when I was younger. I was probably again like under 10. And it suddenly stopped playing and then started rewinding. But like you have to press the buttons down on the top of it to make it do something. So something hit stop and then hit rewind, like it wanted to listen to the song again or something. But
mm,
so yeah, lots of little weird things. And then it finally got to the point where I found a local company that did ghost investigations and lectures and stuff. And we were supposed to go to just a dinner lecture. And our town ended up flooding that weekend we were going to go. And so I contacted the company and I was like, hey, we're not going to be able to make it. Is there any way we could do another dinner or another event? And he was like, yeah, you can just, pick another event that's the same price. And it ended up being an investigation of the Mineral Springs Hotel over in Alton, Illinois. So went on that and instantly was like, I want to do this more. Like, I
yeah.
want to do this as a hobby.
Mhm.
So it just kind of skyrocketed from there. But then, like, what was it, like 2 years ago, Gina? I actually found out that I come from a very long line of empathic women and
Mhm.
didn't realize it until my mom was like, oh, your grandma was an empath. And I was like, what? Why did I not know this sooner?
Yeah.
Yup.
So apparently, my grandma and my great grandma all come from like a long line of women that have experienced strange things in their life. So,
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
yeah.
And I just want to point out, like, with our top 10 list, Mineral Springs would be on it, but it is no longer available to be investigated, and that is why we left it off.
Okay,
But
makes
like
sense.
it is our home place. It is where we started. And in fact, I drove past it twice today while we were eagle watching, and both times I went, "Hi, Pearl," because it's our favorite spirit, and I miss her. So it's just honorable mention only for the fact that you cannot actually get in it to investigate
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
which is really sad.
So like after going through you guys' top 10 list, I'm like, God, what are my top 10 locations? Well, I got as far as putting number one on the list, and then I'm like, I'll finish this later. Because it's like, but it's like it really makes you think of like the
Hmm.
locations and what makes them so great.
And it's very exciting too, because like most people, whenever we do like podcasts and stuff, ask your top bucket list locations.
Mhm.
And thanks to you for inviting us, we are hitting two of both of our top bucket list
Both of
locations
them.
this year.
You are welcome. One
Like
thing
my
I
number one still isn't being hit, but two and three.
My one and two are being hit, so I'm
Yep.
happy.
so like one thing I started asking, which happened about a month ago, is kind of a reverse question. Jada knows where I'm going with this. So if you had to pick, so I'm going to change it, but I'm not going to do top three, but top two. If you had to pick two locations that you would not go investigate, what would they be?
Do they have to be places we've already been or just in general?
Just in general.
Just in general. Two places I would not investigate.
I mean, currently the Conjuring house, but if things are going the way they're going, I would be okay putting that back on the list. Hmm.
Yeah. I so I know
No.
this is a lot of people's like top place that they want to go. I have no desire to investigate Alcatraz.
Oh, I want to
Mhm.
go to
Okay,
Alcatraz. See, I
that's
don't necessarily want to investigate Alcatraz. I would be fine just touring
Yeah, well, like I
Alcatraz.
would
Well,
go
that's
Like,
and
how
do a
I feel with
tour, but I
Auschwitz.
don't want to investigate it.
yeah,
did you just
I
say
don't know if I would want
Auschwitz,
to.
Jada?
Huh?
What did you just say?
I said I feel the same way. I've heard a
Oh,
lot of
I
people.
thought I heard Auschwitz.
You did hear Auschwitz.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because I feel like that would definitely be a place that would be so
Ah,
gravitationally heavy
Oh,
as
Hmm.
for
far as
sure.
spiritually goes. But I believe if they were to open that opportunity, you would get one group in and people would abuse it to the
Yeah.
point of like mockery and a way that is just too televisionized, I guess. And it would completely destroy the actual purpose. But I feel like just touring that place would be
Hmm.
so, so cool. My math teacher got to go there and she said that she'd never go back, but I'd like
that
to
is
go.
heavy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would like to experience it just for the history, but
Yeah,
It's one
exactly.
of those things where like an hour day tour, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of like you mentioned, like there's a very fine line between respecting history and abusing access.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is another thing we've kind of been talking about lately.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of instances that you hear of people going into places and just kind of ruining it for
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
else
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
of bad behavior, and
The
it's just
lights.
sad.
Let's do this for the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just clout chasing pretty much anymore with a
Hmm.
lot of people.
Hmm.
So I just came up with another question. Biggest regret in your paranormal hobby that something that you wish you would have done that you didn't.
Setting up a voice
A
recorder while
rose
we were
recorder.
sleeping in the bedroom at back at your
Yes.
villa.
Yes. We found out after the fact that we were sleeping in the most haunted room in the building. And we were just so tired we didn't even think about setting anything up.
We didn't put up a voice recorder, a camera, equipment, nothing.
Anything.
We just passed out. And then Stephanie was like, "Oh yeah, that's the most haunted room, and stuff usually happens, or people will be talking, or they'll be making noises and stuff while people are sleeping." And we were like, "Why did nobody tell us this before?"
Right.
Right. Oh,
I think my biggest regret, I look back on this is like, I was still fairly new. I only had what, one, two, like four, no, was it three investigations under my belt? So Natty and I were down in Key West on vacation, nothing paranormal, and we did not go see Robert.
I was just gonna
It's
say,
like
did you go
we
see
were
Robert?
going to, but then, she didn't really feel comfortable and she didn't want to. And then we were in
I
the
get that.
parking lot of the museum. I'm like, oh, we should. Then no, let's not. Yeah, let's do it. Then we ended up not doing it. And it's just like, why? It's like, so hopefully I'll get down there again someday because it's like, I feel bad. It's like we were there in the parking lot, like 20 feet from them, and we didn't go in.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a thing for haunted dolls. If you couldn't tell, I mean, there's like
Yeah.
that one. There's two more in the corner. There's like
it,
five more in my room. So I would love to go see Robert the doll someday, or even
see,
Annabelle.
Yeah.
I'm weird with Robert. I want to go see Robert because he was in sight. Not because he's haunted, but because he was in sight.
Yeah. We did go to the Key West Cemetery and find like his owner's grave and stuff, which was really cool. I got pictures of that on my phone. And then we, stood outside his house and
Yeah. One of my other regrets was I went to New Orleans and the cemeteries were closed for
Oh
cleaning
no.
while we were
Oh,
there. So I didn't get to go in any of the cemeteries that I wanted to
Oh,
go
they're
into.
so cool down there
I
too.
know. I need to
I
go
was just
back
saying
now.
probably the cemetery in New Orleans. I wasn't yet paranormally, so I didn't like do any research going in. We just went into the cemetery and walked around, and I wish I would have like known a little bit more about it before going and then
yeah,
been able to
Yeah.
like seek out certain people.
Yeah. I really want to go to Marie Laveau's
Hmm.
grave and leave some
that'd be
stuff.
awesome.
We also didn't
Yeah.
just have a lot of time. Like we had like 2 hours of free time because I was down there volunteering for the St. Bernard project. So it was with school program. And so we were like, we have 2 hours of free time. So we took the trolley to the cemetery, walked around for like 10, 15 minutes, took the trolley back down, and then went back to do whatever it is we needed to do. But they're so pretty down there.
Yeah. I did the ghost tour like in the French Quarter. I just couldn't make it to the cemeteries. It's very sad.
Yeah, last January, so every January, my in-laws, they go down to Florida and Key West for like 5, 6 weeks or whatever. So last January, my wife took a week and drove down with my father-in-law. Of course, what she do is she's down in New Orleans. She's texting me bragging. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, quit rubbing it in that you're in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places. I
I've
will
never
go
been,
every
and it's like
opportunity I
she
get.
knows I
Yep.
want to go there. So it's like, yeah, sending me all these pictures. I'm just like, ah,
I think I've been like 3 times now.
I've been
nice.
twice. It's been a
So
good
pretty.
12 years since I've been.
The day like I think right after Halloween, me and one of my really good friends went to the Renaissance Fair, and
Ren
his
fairs.
mom had just gotten back from New Orleans for like the Day of the Dead stuff, like
Hmm.
the
No.
night before we went, and I just remember being so nervous about her like overworking herself and like just spending too much time awake and not getting enough sleep. I was like, "Are you sure you're okay? Like, do you want to walk here?"
Yeah, I went to New Orleans. It was like the last time I went was the second week of October. So everybody had put up all their Halloween decorations, but nobody was really doing much for Halloween yet. So it was kind of cool to like see it all decked out for Halloween, but not have to deal with the Halloween
Yeah,
crowds.
yeah.
Yeah, I went St.
Gotcha.
Patrick's Day both times that I went, so it was pretty crowded.
Oh
Like St.
God.
Patrick's Day down there is like second Mardi Gras for them.
Awesome. Well, the last thing I have for the night is, which I know a little bit about it, but what are your plans for this year?
Right now, we just have Cheney a couple of times. We're going in next week. Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Well, no, the
So we're going
13th. So not this
2 weeks.
weekend, but next weekend.
So we got 2 weeks. So we're doing Cheney. There's talk about doing Cheney again next month. There's talk about doing Cheney again in May. It's like our only local place anymore. So that's, have local friends that want to go investigate. And we're like, okay, we'll take you to Cheney. And then obviously the big one in July with you guys.
Yeah, we
So
want to add in a
excited.
couple more local ones. Like we're planning on doing the Seven Gates of Hell at some point
Mhm.
and turning that into some kind of investigation. We have another place called Hamilton Primary School.
Which we've been
Um,
trying to get in since we started.
yeah, that's over in Illinois. It's only about 45 minutes away and it's super cheap, but it's kind of small. So it's one of those places you don't want to take more than, 4 people to
Yeah.
investigate. But yeah, we're like we said earlier, we're just kind of going back to our roots this year. Doing a lot of local stuff. We really want to get into McPike Mansion hopefully this year. Um, 'Cause that's one place over in Alton that we have
We
not been
haven't
into.
been.
We've got we know the owner at St. Louis Haunted Mansion, so there's a chance we may get in there this year. Um, we've been talking about wanting to do one of the Lamp haunted tours for like 3 years
Ever.
now, but they're expensive, so we might try to get into Lamp. But yeah, other than that and the big road trip in July where we're going to be hitting every possible place that we can get to while we're on the
Oh, I
road.
know. It's like, even if it's just like, as you said, doing a little bit of day tours,
Hmm.
our side quest list is
right?
Growing.
massive.
So like
We keep
I
adding days.
like when I was reaching out to um the person that does the bookings at Trans Allegheny, I'm like, hey, if some of us want to during the day, it's like, can we do like free roam day tours of the outer buildings? They go, oh yeah, for sure. So it's like
Good
we
to
can do
know.
that during the day before we go into the
Heck
main
yeah.
building at night.
Yeah, we always like to get to places as early as we can so we can get some pictures and footage from outside before it gets dark.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can't remember who. I think it was my. Oh yeah, duh. It was like my team member Courtney. So like, kind of like what I did with the Waverly. It's like try to do a podcast with everybody and get everybody together afterwards and talk about the investigation. Well, she came up with the idea. She goes, depending, it's like, why don't we do a little mini podcast the morning after when it's like fresh in everybody's mind?
Yeah,
Again,
true.
it's not everybody has to because some people are going to probably be dead tired and want to go to bed. But
Yeah, we're still just trying to figure out sleeping arrangements. That's our
Yep.
big one. So we're trying to
yeah, I
find
haven't done that yet.
Airbnbs along the road.
Well, like, your post is like, is it too early to start planning for a trip in July? I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Like, I need to get on that. It's like, I've been so,
Plus, the
I,
earlier you book those Airbnbs, the cheaper they are.
I've been like so hyper focused on, getting podcast dates set and filled up for, through June and finalizing all the investigations. I'm like, crap, I still got to figure out where we're staying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I had told Gina because I'm usually the one that like maps everything out and makes the reservations and all that stuff because
Yep.
I'm an overachiever when it comes to planning. Um,
Which is fine because that used to be me on all the trips with, my friend that I used to take trips with. And then you were just like, I got this. I'm like, here you go. We're the same person. So
and
I
it's
trust
nice that,
you. I know it's going to get done.
yeah, her and I trust each other enough to just be like, hey, can you do this? And like, I'll trust that she'll get it
Hmm.
done,
It's
or she
going to get
trusts that,
done.
I'll be like, okay, here's a couple stipulations. I just need your answer on this, and then I'm good to make some
Yep.
reservations. So, but yeah, this one's complicated because it's a lot of mapping and trying to figure out what nights we're going to be where and what days we want to see what and what's
Right.
Yep.
closest and what city is here and what's the cheapest option.
Okay, here's one last question. It just popped in. This is not really paranormal. Creepiest Airbnb you've ever stayed in?
So we mostly do hotels. Like we've just
Okay.
recently started dipping our toes into the Airbnb thing. There's one down in Branson that I want to get into that used to be an old more funeral home. But really we've only stayed in the old train depot
Yeah, the train depot and then the little motel
and
in
then the little motel.
Rockwood.
Neither very creepy, but really kind of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I was
If
wondering it'd be in.
So
when you go to Malvern Manor, there is an Airbnb in town. There's actually two Airbnbs in town. One of them is an old church, which I've heard is cool, but one of
and
them
it's
is the
just
old
right around the
train,
corner.
one of the old train depots. So we stayed at the train depot when we went, and then our friends stayed at the church. And we didn't have any paranormal stuff happen in the train depot, but it was still
Yeah.
just a really cute little building. It was within walking
Hmm.
distance of everything and
And
it's
then
right by the walking
ISS,
trail.
there's an old motel that has been turned into an Airbnb, and each room is themed. Super, super cute. So
It's very
ask
cute.
us again after July when we're going to be in more.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
for us, it was April of last year when we were down at Farrar. We stayed at this Airbnb in Des Moines. Nothing paranormal, but oh my God, it was so creepy. Like in every bedroom, there are pictures of the people's families throughout the years. Just a picture staring at you at night. It was
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
That's
bizarre.
awkward.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I had to ask Gina because we started looking at some Airbnbs and I've found the ones that are close to bigger cities will either be like, here's this Airbnb for one room in this house, and it's still, $100 a night, or you can get the whole place to yourself, but it's like $400 a night. And I'm like, we don't have that kind of money. So I
Right.
was like, so how do you feel about just getting a room in a place for a night? Like, is that creepy? Is that awkward? And we've gotten to the point where we're just like, we're literally only there to sleep and shower, and then we're leaving
If we
again. So it
need to,
doesn't
we can
matter.
keep everything but the suitcase in the car. Like,
Yeah.
Like, as long as I have a bed and a toilet and a shower, I'm good. I don't
I'm
really
good.
care.
But yeah, so like, when I go out and do investigations, it's like for the most part, I always try to book locations where you can sleep on site or they have other sleeping arrangement buildings.
Hmm.
It just that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, we were going to do that with this last trip to ISS, but once people started saying like, "Oh yeah, because ISS has rooms that you can rent on
Yeah.
property," which is great, but it's like, it's $60 for this one room that has a queen bed in it, but it's all a shared bathroom in the building. So like everybody's using the same bathroom. And I was like, I would rather just spend the $20 more
Or
to stay 5 minutes down the road, have my own toilet and shower, and
Yeah.
not have to worry about people walking up and down the hallway all night.
But yeah, like last June before, when we did ISS during the day, that night we did Billy Creek and you can
Hmm.
Mhm.
stay there in their general store. So it's like, we did ISS and Billy Creek. That was a long day.
Yeah.
We
We
were
would
like,
like to investigate Billy Creek.
it's amazing.
It's so cute. I need more syrup and honey. They were
Yeah,
closed
they
when
have
we went
really
for
good maple
ISS. We
syrup.
were we were gonna stop because we like going to the general store and like getting some of the like locally made stuff.
Yeah.
But we haven't investigated it yet.
Yeah. Plus, they have that cute little coffee shop that opened now with
Yeah,
really
And
good
a lot of
coffee.
goats.
Yeah, and really cute goats.
and the
We spent
cat
an hour looking at the goats.
and the cat, which God, what the heck was the cat's name again? Luna, I think. I can't remember.
Oh.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Jada, do you have any last thoughts?
Not that, not on the top of my head, no.
All right. Well, ladies, I thank you for taking some time out of your night to join us.
Yeah,
It
And
always a
was
we,
pleasure.
fun.
yes, and we
Thank you
look,
for having us.
yes, we look forward to,
Thanks for your questions. They were very unique, not ones that we get very often.
yes,
So
Yeah.
great questions.
she had some great questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, we look forward to hearing about your adventures in 2026 and then look forward to July.
So
Heck
excited.
yeah.
Thanks for
All right.
inviting us.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
welcome. All right,
We
everybody,
we
have a great
honestly
one.
had no idea what we were gonna do this year, and then we
And
were
then you
like,
just came
oh.
in and were like, hey, do you want to come to this? And I went, Lauren, we have to. Like, we have to. Especially with all the stuff happening, potentially happening with Penhurst. Like,
Yeah, it's like it
Mhm.
was not even on our radar for this year. Then I saw that post. I'm like, oh crap.
Mhm.
Driving
right.
across Pennsylvania this year. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, we get to cross off a couple states from our
Yeah.
investigation list now. It's
But like
exciting.
Natalie, that's one of her bucket list locations, and it's like if we don't do it this
Mhm.
year, might never get there. So it's
Right.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
gotta do it.
It's been my top bucket list since I started
Mhm.
investigating. And
It's been
then,
my number two, but my number one is very niche and has to do with my last name. So
well, it's
if
funny
we
though
ignore that, it
because
is my number one.
Yeah,
we had planned a trip to Trans-Allegheny 2 years ago, and that trip fell through, which was good because the people that we were going to go with we don't associate with anymore. And then I was going to go on a trip to Penhurst with some other ladies, and that ended up not happening because they had to cancel because something else came up. So it's like each time I tried to plan to go, like something didn't work out. So it was just
It
like
feels
fate.
right this
Fate
year.
was like, we're gonna get you to both places in one go.
Yep.
yeah. And it's like, yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right. Well, anyways, everybody have a great night,
You too.
You too.
and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
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 Bye.